necessary to form a single file line. If you are traveling with a stroller, please have children and valuables unloaded before you reach our stroller parking area. If you are traveling with someone in a two-only, please have your parking in the line. This will help keep your wait times to a minimum. Once again, please keep your group together, keep up with the party in front of you, and fill in all.
Everyone, welcome aboard. Watch your step, slide all the way in so your whole party can fit. Now if your whole party does not fit, you will be on the next truck. My friends on the right hand side, watch your hands, arms, feet, and legs. Doors are going to be sliding closed. Asante Sana Warden. Now we do like to say twin day here in Harambe, which means let's go. Jumbo everyone, my name is Courtney. I'm going to be your safari guide today through the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Now for the duration of your safari, I do ask that you remain seated with all hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the truck at all times. Now we're going to get started here in the Little Ituri Forest. And the forest is home to the more shy and elusive animals, so they do like to use their colorings and their markings to blend in and camouflage. That way predators can't spot them as easily. So if you see the light brown ones to the left there on the hillside, those light brown ones are the greater kudu. The reddish auburn one up there is the bongo. And the okapi, if you take a look to your right, it's actually up top there, far top left side, just behind that big tree trunk there. Now the greater kudu are the largest forest antelope, standing at about 5 feet tall at the shoulder. And the bongo are known as the ghost of the forest. So they do tend to do most of their grazing at night. Now the okapi, if you were able to see those zebra striped legs they have, even though they have those zebra stripes, they are actually close relatives of the giraffe. And you can tell that by their facial features, as well as that long tongue that they have, that they use to grip leaves off of trees. Coming up off the left-hand side, it's going to be right next to the road here next to us. This bird here, this is known as the saddle-billed stork. Saddle-billed storks can be about 5 feet tall, and they can have a wingspan that ranges from 7 to 9 feet wide. As we come to the edge of that forest, this is the Safi River. It's going to be home to a few different animals, but first we're going to see those pink-backed pelicans. The pelicans get their name from that light blush pink color, which will show up on their backs during mating season. Oh, it looks like there's a Nile hippopotamus to the right there, joining them over there. You see his head sticking out of the water there. Remain seated for me, friends. All the way down, please. Sit down, please. Thank you. Now you'll see there's some more Nile hippopotamus to the left there. See the one way in the back there? So Nile hippopotamus do tend to stay submerged under the water for most of the day, because that is how they stay cool. It's how they keep themselves from overheating. Now a group of hippos is called a bloat. They can hold their breath underwater for up to several minutes at a time. you take a look to your left, see there's most of the hippos like to be outside the water during the colder weather. So you won't see them out of the water too much. Now make sure to keep your eyes to the left because you're going to see the Nile crocodile. So if you look, there's one. It's against the far back wall there. There's one out of the water. So Nile crocodiles, largest crocodilian in Africa. 16 to 18 feet long. It's almost as a giraffe is tall. Now crocodiles can get up to weights of around 500 pounds. Despite those strong jaws that crocodiles have, one of the cool things that they do is they will actually put their eggs in their mouth. And what they do is they very, very gently roll their eggs around in their mouth, and that helps their eggs to hatch. Now the baobab tree, which is also known as the tree of life, it's that big tree to your right there. That tree will remain leafless like that for about 9 months out of the year. Now in order to survive those long savanna droughts, it does need to go leafless. That way it can retain thousands and thousands of gallons of water in its trunk and in its roots. Now that water it retains, it will help to sustain life out here on the savanna, because the savanna is home and it's a major highway for a lot of animals, especially those migratory animals. So that's one of the Maasai giraffe you're seeing off to the right there, near that truck over there. And hopefully we'll get a little closer to some of them. But the Maasai giraffe are one of the tallest species of giraffe. They can grow anywhere from about 18 to 20 feet tall. And you'll also notice the zebras over there. Those are the Hartman Mountain zebras. Now, what's unique about that species is they're one of 2 species that will have a white belly. So if you notice the stripes, they actually don't go all the way under their belly. Now that species of zebra is the only species. If you notice under the neck there's a little skin flap. It's called the dewlap. And the dewlap is what helps them with their blood circulation, and it helps them to stay cool out on the savanna. Now to the left are the painted dogs. You're going to see them this far right side, just to the right of this rock cave here. See them laying down there on that little hay bed. Painted dogs are part of the canine family. They're often mistaken for hyenas. Now they're the most efficient hunter on the savanna, and that's because when they hunt, what they do is they will take turns chasing their prey until it's exhausted. And we got a few different ones coming up here. If you take a look to the left, those brown ones laying down back there with the horns, those are the sable antelope. And then this is a group of the wildebeest, one of the main migratory animals on the savanna. Got another Maasai giraffe. And these ones here with the large giant horns, these are the Ankole cattle. Now the sable antelope back there, they are the emblem of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve here. The Ankole cattle here, those horns, they may look big and heavy, but they are actually hollow, honeycomb-like structures on the inside. And that's what helps them with their blood circulation and helps them to stay cool out here. Now, wildebeest are one of the main migratory animals. They can travel anywhere from 500 to 1,000 miles during their migration patterns. And they'll travel in numbers of upwards of about 1.5 million. Now, largest species of antelope is the eland. Did you see that big brown one to the left there? Eating the leaves down there. They stand about 6 feet tall at the shoulder. And if you notice, they also have that skin flap there, the dewlap, which helps them to stay cool out of the savanna. Now, like their relatives, the okapi, the giraffes will also have a long tongue, about 16 to 18 inches long, that giraffe tongue. And when a baby giraffe is born, they're already about 6 feet tall. Now the small brown ones, which you'll see kind of spread out over here, the ones with that dark stripe down their side, those are the springbok. And springbok can jump about 6 to 8 feet in the air from a standing position. And if they're moving forward, they can jump about 13 feet. If you see the mandrill, take a look to your left. You see the mandrill back there? Yeah, let's see if we can get the rocks out of the way. We are also entering elephant country, if you notice these broken tree trunks here. So you are going to see one of those African elephants off to the right there. So elephants, a lot of times you might see them flapping their ears against their body, especially when it's warmer. Here comes the mandrill. If you take a look to the left, there's the mandrill. Mandrills are part of the monkey family. That red and blue facial coloring you see there, when they get excited, those colors will become very, very bright and very vibrant. Now, as I was mentioning with the elephants, that ear flapping they do, it's one way that they help to keep themselves cool. So what they're doing is they create an airflow over those veins and muscles on the back of their ears, which allows them to lower their body temperature. So they can actually lower their body temperature up to 15 degrees by doing that. If you take a look right over your right, it's kind of tucked in over there. Now, elephants are not only threatened due to those ivory tusks that they have, but their natural habitats are also being threatened due to mining. Now that mining is for a mineral ore called coltan. Coltan is what's found in our everyday electronics, like our tablets, our phones, our iPads. So one thing we can do just to help preserve their natural habitat is to make sure those electronics are getting recycled properly. to run in a matriarchal system, so if you ever see a herd of elephants, they are most likely all female, and the babies will stay in that female herd. Males, when they're mature enough, they will go out on their own. Now, male elephants, they can lead a more solitary lifestyle. Oftentimes, they will actually go out and form their own bachelor herd. If you haven't seen the baby elephant yet, it looks like she's just up ahead down by the water there. We'll get down there in just a second. Get you guys down to see the baby before she runs off. Let's see. There she is. Now you might see elephants throw dirt or mud over their backs. If you notice, sometimes they're a little dirty up top there. So just like you or I put sunscreen on to protect our skin from the sun, that's what the elephants do as well with that dirt and mud. So it does act as their skin's natural sun protectant. And up here we have a flamboyance of the greater flamingo, which are the largest of the flamingos. And they are also the lightest shade of pink. A flamingo's diet will consist of shrimp, and that shrimp contains what's called beta-carotene. That beta-carotene is what gives them that pink color that you see there. If you take a look to your right there, down at the end there, those are the white rhinos. White rhinos get up to weights of around 5,000 pounds at adulthood. Now their name comes from the word vite, which means wide, and that's in reference to their wide jaws that they have that they use for grazing. Keep your eyes to the left. Look on that grassy hillside there. You see the cheetah laying down there? One of the fastest land mammals, cheetahs, 60 to 65 miles per hour in about 3 seconds. Now, cheetahs do have a long tail, and that long tail is how they maintain their balance while they're running that high speed. And they cannot maintain that high speed for very long, so they will only do it in short bursts. As we make our way around the Kopi rocks here, just pay attention up top because the lions are laying down up there. You can see just the top of them there. Lions do tend to sleep most of the day. They can sleep up to 20 hours out of the day. And that is mainly because they do their hunting at night. Now, a lion's pride is often made up of a single male, and the rest are female. It is the female lions that do the hunting, so when they go out at night, the male lion will actually hang back. He will watch over the territory and will watch over any of the cubs. warthogs. Take a look there. Warthogs are the largest burrowing animal. So they will dig out those burrows that you see down below there, and they dig them out with their tusks. When they're all done, they actually back into their burrows, just in case a predator was to come and check it out. Now just there to your right, the yellow eggs in that clearing there, those are ostrich eggs. Ostrich eggs individually weigh about 3 pounds each, which is equivalent to about 2 dozen chicken eggs. While the warden's out, camp is being looked after by the Nigerian dwarf goats. Dwarf goats are highly beneficial to farmers. Not only do they help in the production of milk and cheese, but those goats have 4 compartments to their stomach, which allows them to eat a lot of vegetation. So they can eat more weeds and more plants more than any other animal would be able to handle. Now, if you're a fan of petting zoos, you can pet some of those goats here. It's called the affection section, which is going to be on that train that you hear there. It's going to take you to Rafiki's Planet Watch. Now, along with those goats, you can pet some sheep, donkey, cow, and pigs. And the veterinary hospital and the nutrition station are also up that way. So if you're interested in seeing how the animals are taken care of here, or even interested in learning how to draw some of your favorite Disney characters, there's also an animation studio up that way. So I do recommend checking out Rafiki's Planet Watch. Now the last train will leave at 4:30 today. Now a couple other places to see some more animals. We do have some walking trails that will also close at 4:30. The closest one is the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail right next to us here. You can see the family of gorillas, meerkats, snake and bull rats. You can see the okapi again, and there's also underwater hippo viewing of that hippo pool that we saw out there. And the other walking trail, you'll need to take a flight over to Asia. It's called the Maharaja Jungle Trek. Now that trail has the water buffalo, the Komodo dragons. It's got the Sumatran tigers. It's got different species of bats, and there is also a walk-through bird sanctuary up on that trail. Now we don't like to say goodbye here in Harambe because it's way too sad and it's far too final. So we actually like to say kwaherini, which is a Swahili phrase. It does mean to go well. So go well, go wild,